Hey, Max.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday morning real estate marketing show with Ruthie Rocks, Ruth Allbrand, and Marketing Max. Today, we actually have two special guests. Our first special guest is going to be Charlie Carr from Tycor Title. She's been in Las Vegas pretty much all her life here, and we won't disclose how long that is for some secrecy here. But she's been 21 years in the title business and the last 10 with Tycor Title. So welcome to the show today, Charlie. Glad to have you on.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And we'll get to you after Ruth does her market update and also introduces our second special guest today. Take it away, Ruth.
Hi, this is Be Happy. And my first show that I've missed in over a year was when I had to go last Saturday to Alabama to pick her up, which I did. It was a whirlwind 32-hour trip. But I brought her back, and she's been here since Sunday. She's 8 weeks old. She'll be 9 weeks old on Monday. And I was telling everybody earlier that she's 75% housebroken, and she knows her name, and she's very happy to be here. Be happy's happy, aren't you, Bee? Yeah, she's very happy. She's a happy little girl. And I'm just thrilled.
Congratulations, Ruth. Congratulations.
She brought so much joy into our life again. So, we have a purpose again, and that's always good. And I know that, Charlie, you have two dogs, Jordan and Cody or Kobe?
Kobe.
Kobe and Jordan. And they're two white labs. They're beautiful. And so you know what this is all about.
Yes, exactly. I missed that puppy stage, actually.
Yeah.
Everybody does. I know. Everybody doesn't until you have to do the dog training aspect of it.
Oh, that's kind of fun, though.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it's fun. Teaching her how to know what come is and stay and sit and
right.
She already knows where dinner is and what time it is. Twice a day she eats, and she goes in and sits on her. We have a little rug in the pantry. She goes in there and she just waits for Daddy to bring her little bowl of food in. So. Very smart. It's amazing to me. I just have to I say this every day, but here's something that weighs under 4 pounds, and she is smart and learning every day. And that a brain is such an amazing, it just tells me how much of our brain we don't use, right?
No, absolutely.
Right? You're so cute. Time to go to bed, hopefully. She'll leave me alone for a little bit. Okay, I'm going to put her down. You can.
All right.
I'll be right back.
You got it. So I was telling Ruth, I almost want a dog when I saw how cute her puppy was. Because I have two kids. I have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, actually turning 6 and 8 this year. And they've been wanting a puppy, but I've been so traumatized the last time I got a dog. It ended up being my sole responsibility to take care of them. And it was not fun from my experience. And now raising two kids and having their time take up my time, I can't see managing another newborn in the family.
How old are your children?
They're turning 6 and 8 this year. So this month, actually, my boy.
Yeah, maybe in 2 more years. I think about 10 years old, they can handle the dog.
Yeah, yes. And I hope my wife watch the show today and not hold me to it. So
kind of teaches them responsibility too.
Yeah,
you have to take care of something else.
Yeah, that's true. No, all good valid points from the dog lovers today. So what's going on in the market, Ruth?
Well, of course, our market started the year pretty slow. I think it was very slow. Don't you think, Charlie, in January?
January and February were really bad months for us as a company.
What do you think about March?
March has kind of taken off. We're pleasantly surprised after the first week of March. Our openings they really picked up. We kind of look at a number daily to see, we have a goal each day to hit, and we're exceeding that goal by about probably 15 to 20 orders a day. So it really jumped up.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so my statistics are telling me that in the first 3 months of this year, we've done $5 billion in total volume. The astounding thing that I'm concerned about is that Open Door did 102 million, almost 103 million of that 5 billion. And when you break down the numbers into the commissions, that's $1 million in commissions a month that our agents didn't get. And to me, that's just unbelievable. You know, that's something that people need to pay attention to, because they're taking our market. I mean, and from last year, it's more than tripled. I took 3 months of last year and compared it to the first 3 months of this year, and their volume has tripled. So they are in our market, and all of those listings our agents aren't getting, Open Door is getting. And that of course, I was saying earlier, you know, to my point about why I teach social media and why I get so passionate about getting people to brand themselves and to get out there in front of their clients. And we show them how to do it with all the tactics and strategies. And this is why. I mean, this is the proof. And like we said earlier, I didn't even get into the Zillow numbers. This is just Open Door. This is just one platform.
Right.
So.
Right. I was listening to Gary Vee the other day about how eventually, you know, once the Alexa device and all the voice features starts really being integrated more so in our daily life, branding is going to become even more important, because when someone orders something, he was saying that they're not going to say, give me a cheeseburger. They're going to say, get me either an In-N-Out cheeseburger or whatever. And so if you relate that to real estate, where they're going to say, bring me up all the listings from Open Door, right? So they're going to use the brand, and it's going to be more important than ever to build a brand moving forward than just being a realtor that sells real estate and having no brand at all. And that's what Ruth is pointing out right now, is branding is going to be becoming more and more important moving down the road than it ever has before.
Yeah, it's incredible. And Facebook has come out with some new criteria for their advertising, and I'm going to get into that in my class next week. It's the 5th, 6th, and 7th from 10 to 2, because Facebook is so underpriced, and so is Instagram, to get in front of people. You know, if your market is the soccer moms and things, and the millennials, then Instagram is the place to be. If it's, you know, the over 40 market, then you should be in Facebook. Mm-hmm. And the bottom line is you probably should be in both. And I've always gone where the puck is going in my real estate career for 30 some years. And I still generate leads for my husband from California. And I do it for other brokers and agents that want lead generation as well, but they don't want to take the time, or for whatever reason, they would rather somebody else generate the leads for them. And the really interesting thing about Facebook and Instagram is that you can directly communicate with these people that opt into whatever you're having to offer. And if agents just realize the gold that they have in front of them, then, you know, and they got on board, while the price is under $10 per lead, because it's going to go up. And people are coming here from California, and you can target that market so easily. And Charlie, tell us about, you know, the numbers.
So what we know is there's about 10,000 people a month moving out of California. And our number for Las Vegas is about 3,200 a month that are coming in from California.
And last year it was 1,300.
Yeah,
wow.
The feeling is that most of the people that are leaving is due to taxes. Their sales tax and their high income earner tax is the highest in the country. Yeah. So they're coming where they can take that money, sell a home there. Their average sales price there is about $550, and our median price is about $293. So they can afford a lot more of a house here than they can in California.
And reduce their taxes. Yeah, less taxes. You know, and when I talk to some of the friends I have that are in the real estate business in California, they always say, yeah, but the job pay is so much less in Vegas. But when you do the numbers and how much they're paying for their house, you've got to make a heck of a lot more money to afford a house in California. And when you look at the stats on salaries, you're going to end up with more house and more money at the end of the month if you move to Vegas, even though you perhaps have taken a cut in pay.
Exactly.
Right. A typical person that makes $200,000 in Southern California, you know, is probably going to buy a $750,000 house, and just the taxes, the property tax at 1%, that's $7,500 a year. I mean, just simply moving to Vegas and buying a similar property worth 350 or 400, right? With our 0.82 or whatever. What is the state? What is the tax? The Nevada property tax right now? Is it like 0.82?
0.89, I think.
0.89?
Yeah, I think it's 0.89.
Yeah.
Right. So essentially getting the same house, less just in property taxes alone, less. And then obviously the mortgage payment is going to be anywhere between $500 to $600 less. I mean, that's where, the discrepancy in why people are moving here is the math does not work to be living in Southern California right now, or California,
Right.
period.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you, Charlie. Can you give us a breakdown of what like price ranges are selling well right now in the Valley?
I can't really give you. I could give it to you. I could pull them up really quick, but I can't really give you a breakdown of price ranges. We typically search and do our stats based on the areas of the Valley, and we break it down into appreciation. We know that the Summerlin areas, Southern Highlands, Seven Hills, those areas have much higher price points than North Las Vegas or like the Aliante area. Sky Canyon is a huge community out there, and they have very affordable housing out there. But yeah, those areas, Summerlin, Green Valley, Seven Hills, those areas are a little bit higher price point
Got it.
than others.
What's the hottest area, like off the top of your head, kind of like?
I would say the West, Summerlin, the Ridges, like those areas.
Okay, got it. And for my own personal interest, you mentioned Sky Canyon there. I mean, they're building like massive amounts of houses now. When I moved here, almost 4 years ago, I mean, north of Grand Teton on between Hualapai and Fort Apache was barren land. And now it's Sky Canyon. Big
No, I know. Sky Canyon is huge. They've got 6 builders out there. I think their price points are like between $250 and then they even go $550 and up. So they have a wide range, and it's just a beautiful community out there. They've also got Tule Springs out there that is just booming, but it's still very affordable for people. So
right, good. I feel like I'm in a good area then. Kind of moved ahead of the puck in the real estate market here in Vegas. So, well, I mean, what else is going on in the Vegas Valley? You have any interesting stats that you can share with us that related to title, related to real estate, or in general, what are you seeing out there among real estate agents that are successful? What are they doing, and how are they utilizing you guys?
We spend a lot of money as a title company on tools to help agents grow. We have a national sales team that goes out and finds tools that are successful in other markets, and then they test them out and they bring them to us to introduce to agents. We spend a lot of money on tools to help them grow. The market has really changed. I've been in the business a long time, and our job as a sales team is really to bring value to an agent and help them directly grow their business. So partnering with a sales executive, it can really do a lot more than it could have done 10 years ago, because we have so many tools to help them farm areas. We have a really great new tool called Tiger Tech Farm, and it can actually help them identify likely sellers in a particular neighborhood, or if they had a listing, we can identify the people in that neighborhood that are most likely to sell in the next 12 to 24 months based on all kinds of algorithms. So we just have really good tools to help them be very targeted.
All right. And how are you guys, what's your view on what's happening with marketing and some of these things with the iBuyer programs and stuff like that? And I know they close through and use title companies like yourself. So, I mean, can you kind of touch on your thoughts and feelings about those things?
We really try to tell agents that they really should kind of team up with some of these iBuyers, because they can keep control of their client. If they bring to, a listing that the seller has options, then they can kind of keep a hold of the client and not lose the client to, the commercial on TV where now they're just going to contact the iBuyer directly, but if they kind of bring to a seller all of their options, then they can keep control of that seller when they sell and then turn around and buy another property and represent them. So I think we're seeing a lot of agents just team up and learn as much as they can about the iBuyers so that they can work with them.
Right. Now, you bring up a good point, because I said this about 3 years ago. And if you want to get in front of, especially direct to the consumer, start educating them on what's behind working with the Zillow instant offers, what's behind working with an iBuyer program like Open Door, right? You as a real estate agent, if you brand yourself, put educational type videos out there, talking and actually educating them how to use them effectively, right? Which is counterintuitive to what you think you should be doing, but by the mere fact that you're elevating yourself as an expert in real estate, even when they think about using an iBuyer, the first person they could potentially be calling is you, and then you have an opportunity to take an at bat, right? And that's all you need, is that first opportunity to take an at bat. And as we all know in sales, is like usually the first person everyone talks to when they're ready to buy is who they 80 to 90% of the time go with. And so that's why Ruth is so passionate about teaching people how to brand themselves, is because you just need that first at bat.
Yes.
And then you have the opportunity to take over the process with the client. So any thoughts on that, Ruth?
Well, when I'm teaching, I tell people, encourage your prospective seller to get an estimate of what it would cost if they used one of the internet platforms like Open Door or there's so many Purple Bricks, and then compare. Go in there prepared to compare what you can do and how much they're going to net if they use you, and understand their situation, because there's some people that just want the money and they need to go because they're relocating, and somebody else might be picking up the tab, for their relocation expenses. And so they just want to get out of there and move on wherever they're going. But other than that, if there's not a tough financial situation, what we bring to the table at the end of the day is to be able to negotiate, the absolute best deal for the seller, and make it a smooth journey. Understand, and respect. I really like in California how they do most showings by appointment only. And that's good for the listing agent as well, but it makes, I think we're going to head in that direction, just because it makes the journey a little bit less stressful for the seller. Right. What do you think? Do you have any opinion on that? I just know when people say, when I hear the ads on TV, that's one of the things that they talk about. These platforms, they'll say, you don't have to have your life disrupted, and
right,
by using a real estate agent, and then you don't have to have the open houses, and you don't have to have all the things that we do and that we offer, to help get the best price in the fastest amount of time for the seller, is what they're saying to the seller. You don't have to go through all this, when at the end of the day, it's a little bit of perhaps disruption, but at the end they make more money on their house that they're selling. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And not only that, now that all these companies are promoting these ads and selling it effectively, listen to what the pain points that they're selling the end consumer on. They've done the research in your target market for you. So use it, right? And then craft a different message around why it's potentially more effective to use you and still solve the problems, right? The great thing about these marketing companies and these big companies with big brands, they hire big consultants. But one thing they do really well is they understand their market. Yes. And the reason why they spring up, and the companies like Zillow and all those companies spring up, is because they found a problem, right? Or a friction in the real estate selling process that the seller is experiencing, home buyers and home sellers are experiencing, and all they're doing is solving it, right? So the great thing now is that now they've done all the research for you. They've done, the studies, they've spent millions of dollars target marketing these, end consumers and crafting a message. Use that message and then craft a story behind it on why using a real estate agent, using you specifically allows you to solve those problems as well, but then gives you obviously, do what Ruth said, it gives a comparison how you can get better prices, right? So don't fight. One of the things I always think about now is like, don't fight what potentially is coming. See how you can exploit it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
See how you can exploit it. These companies are doing the really hard work on finding what message is effectively piercing through the attention of the home sellers. Now you have that. Craft your same message here. Teach people how to use these iBuyer programs. And at the end of your video or end of your message saying like, if you want more information on how to utilize these programs, give me a call.
Yeah,
and then take your at bat. Right? That's how you.
People still want human interaction.
Exactly right.
And they need to be represented. Buyers and sellers need representation. So
exactly right. Exactly right.
And the old way of doing things was just to send out postcards or letters and printed material campaign. And I know everybody, you just can't wait at night to get home, right, to open up your mail. Those days are kind of gone, I think. And so when you're on Facebook advertising and you're in front of people all the time and you're adding value and giving them tips and things, and they're getting to know, like, and trust you, that's what's important. And that's where you need to be focused. And with the ability with Facebook to drop pin and go around an area and focus, rich is niche, niches are rich, broad is broke. So you can just zone in on an area, do your homework, find out, if you find an area where people are probably going to move, because everybody moves now every so many years. I think it's 9 years. It used to be 7. And find an area where you think that you can make a difference and market to those people directly what you can do for them. And, maybe pick a few pockets, use a title company, right, Charlie, to get the right farm, right? Yeah,
the tools. So, we're not telling people to eliminate the traditional ways of doing business quite yet. If you're used to it, like, sorry to interrupt you, Ruth, but I wanted to ask Charlie a little bit, like, Tell us a little bit more. Can you specifically talk about this new tool that is going to help? And have you seen and witnessed? Have you talked to some of the realtors that have used it, and what have they found to be successful about it? What have they found to be, what are some of the challenges, and what does this tool kind of help them to solve?
Well, to touch on what you were just talking about, another feature that it has is turnover rate. So the farming tool is live. So it's a live farm. It's constantly updating based on the recorder. So agents don't have to ask for an updated farm every 3 months because it's constantly updating for them. They can have unlimited farms, but another feature that, like I said, turnover rate, it's going to give them the turnover rate in particular neighborhoods. So we can just pull as many farms until we get, a good enough turnover rate and help them determine which areas are going to be better to farm in than others. If it has a 2% turnover rate, you probably don't really want to waste your time. But if it has a 9 or 10% turnover rate, then that would be a good farm to target.
Charlie, yes. when you in today's world, can you give them email addresses if they're available in the farm or phone numbers?
So this tool has 2 components to it. The stuff that I was just talking about is all free. It's a free version. Agents we can set them up with an account and put as many farms in there as they want. They can sort it any way they want: absentee owner, new buyers, however they want to sort it. But the company also has a paid version, and the paid version is $39.99 a month, and that will give them email addresses and phone numbers, and it also gives an agent life-changing events. So, as I said earlier, the farm is live, so every time there's a birth, a death, a marriage, or a divorce, the agent is going to get alerted within their farm area that one of these life-changing events has occurred.
That just dovetails so much with social media and with Facebook. Yeah. And what I teach in class is that you get from your title company, the updated version, like you're saying, and then you upload it as an audience to your Facebook, to your business page. And I know Chelsea knows exactly what I'm talking about. Chelsea's watching us today. Chelsea's from Tycord Title, and we've created a really great friendship and relationship. And she knows all about marketing, and she does a podcast. And I just want to shout out to you, Chelsea, and I'm so thrilled that you joined us today. But Chelsea will understand this because she just had a great interview with a Facebook expert I think last week. Anyway, so the Excel spreadsheet can just be uploaded as an audience to the back of Facebook. And now you can target market those people, and as you can target them individually, or you can target them constantly through an ad campaign, which I would, of course, recommend. And it just works. I mean, I can't tell you, when we do classes, people will do the things that I'm talking about, and they'll get leads. The class is a 3-day class. By the end of the third day, people have gotten leads from the techniques that we teach and the strategies. So what you're providing, Charlie, is an enormous tool. And I'd like you to maybe come to one of my classes, and we can show them what you provide, and then actually maybe they can sign up for the service and bring Tyker Title more business.
That would be great. We would love that.
Yeah, because you can use the combination of that farming tool with all the statistics there, and then match it up with Facebook and do what Ruth and I have called contextualized advertising, meaning you're not advertising saying, "Hi, I'm the greatest realtor in Las Vegas. Use me." It's like, "Hey, I apologize. Maybe you had a recent life event here that maybe is causing some friction, and probably one of the biggest problems that you're running into is like what to do with your home right now, right? Let me share with you some tips on XYZ, blah, 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 going through a divorce, going through a life change, going through whatever." So you're talking directly to like the person experiencing that event. And that's the powerful thing about advertising now versus, just a decade ago. And so I want to share a tip for people who are still, watching. This is like, we trap in tips like in the middle of the show here. We all know Ruth has been a big advocate for video for a long time. And one of the most effective things that I've been looking at, I'm taking some courses on different marketing, but they saying like utilizing, short form or even long form video, that educational in purpose, very specific to what, the client is looking for in real estate, teach people about how to get the best prices, like how to stage your home, or just give 10 tips, do a video about 10 tips on how, whatever, do an ad. And then if you want more details on how to do this, go to Ruth's class because she'll teach you how to do this. Basically create an ad with a video. And then what Facebook allows you to do is retarget anybody that watches like more than half of your video, right? And then if people are watching more than half of a video that talks about how to get the best price for your home, there's a high likelihood that they're looking to sell their home at one point or another in the very near future. And so the new way of advertising is what they call behavioral advertising, meaning you're putting your message in front of people who are exhibiting a behavior that leads to a potential transaction. And Facebook, modern digital advertising allows you to do that. So
it's just incredible.
So if you're not doing it, all the Zillow guys are doing it. The iBuyer programs all these guys are doing it, and they have massive budgets to do it. But the great thing about it, and I tell Ruth like this, the differentiator between in real estate is at the end of the day, we're all individuals, and no one can buy you. Your brand is unique. No big company can ever replace that, and it's your job to continue to build that.
And if they see you every day or every couple days, giving tips and being authentic and with these little videos, and then you can boost them out, or now you can boost them out to a particular zip code or drop pin area. I think when I was watching Chelsea and Travis the other day, they were talking about, I think they limit you you have to be over 15,000 in your drop pin. And so that's not a big deal. You can extend your circle and to your area, and be in front of them and say, do you live in, 89031, and are you interested in getting the best price for your home? And when you shout out to them directly like that, or Charlie, what type of life events did you say that you give them?
Anything filed. So marriage, birth, death, or divorce. So
you can reach out there and say, if you're farming 09 031 and you see that there have been, several births, you can say, hey, do you live in 031 and is your family expanding? I mean, you can market directly to those people. You only need so many deals a month, right?
Right.
But once you get on a roll and you start building your sphere of influence, and you'll start living off referrals eventually if you do it right. And that's what we try to teach, is to get enough people in your database so that you can reach out to them. And then with what the tools that you're offering agents is just incredible. They just need to know what they can do with them. And sometimes when things come easy, I find out that people don't give them value. But the people that pay attention and the people that do the things that we teach in our class, they're just amazed at how their business has taken off and increased, whether it's buyers or sellers. I've always gone after the buyers, but the people that do what we teach to get the sellers and use your tool, I mean, that's going to give them an incredible increase in their business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely.
I
think one thing about our sales team that really stands out too is the tools that we do have. The sales team is willing to sit with the agents, and have repeat appointments to really show them how they can integrate the tools into their business. That we don't just want to give them the tool and say, here, go sign up for Tycor Tech Farm or Breakthrough Broker or whatever. We want to sit with them and show them how they can be successful by using it.
Well, maybe I'll integrate you into my class. And
okay, that would be great.
Teach the tool, right?
Teach the tool. Exactly. Okay. That's what we do. Yes. Yeah.
Here's an interesting bit of information about why niching down niches are the riches, and why you should specifically either focus on a neighborhood, a zip code, or even specialize in a life event happening and then creating marketing around that. So 10, 15 years ago, the number one social media site was, we forget it. Not Facebook is the number one site, but there was a MySpace. Right, it's a guy named Tom. Right, everybody remembers Tom, right, with the thumb up behind. So they interviewed Tom and said, why do you think Mark Zuckerberg beat you with Facebook? He's like, what he did better than I did was he mastered small niches at a time. So he started with his basically Facebook was built for his buddies in his dorm room first to do this face swipe left and right. And then he moved to basically his dorm campus, and then to his college, and then he mastered colleges. Then he started to slowly expand as he got really good at understanding each of his demographic group and their behaviors and what they're doing. And while Tom was building MySpace, it was really catchy. He was the first to the market, but he never understood the behavioral patterns of his users, and he never was able to change fast enough to catch up to Facebook. Because by the time Zuckerberg put Facebook out in 2006, 7, he had mastered the dorm room, right? And those dorm rooms went into the field, and they grew up, and so it basically exploded. So start with a niche, get really good at it, so that you don't spend useless money not being able to put the right message to a broad group. Putting a message to a broad group is much more expensive, and you're shotgun firing instead of using a sniper and picking off and talking to the right prospect at the right time. So
I've been teaching social media now for 3 years, and what I know is the pushback is the amount of time and work it takes. Agents are just used to throwing money at the wall and seeing what sticks. And those days are over. You just have to get good at what you do, and you have to become a media company. You really do. You have to get out in front of people if you're going to stay in this business long term. And it's not that difficult once you start doing it. It's scary. Of course it is. And that's going to eliminate a lot of competition, and is how I look at it. So if I were out there in the market today, I would be interviewing, the soccer coach. I would be interviewing Pete down at Mastriani's restaurant, or, all the people that I know, and start getting out in front of the town or area, whether it's Henderson, North Las Vegas, I would be in front of those people so that they know, like, and trust me. And when it comes to real estate, oh, by the way, if you know of anyone who is interested in buying or selling real estate and you don't have an agent, I would love to be your agent. Something that's simple. It's not, and That's what we try to overcome in our video classes, getting people to start with something very simple. We'll say, we'll give them some scripts. So they have to do like a 30-second video saying, did you know that if you're in outer space, Las Vegas is the only city you can see if you're, up in the stars. So
really?
just something, you just start with saying something that is lighthearted and get used to the video, get used to the camera, or get used to, if you're a podcaster, get used to your voice. But I really right now think that being out in front of people using video, 15, 30-second videos, and advertising yourself out there is where you're going to brand and become successful or more successful. Because like I said earlier, what was it? $100 million of commissions are going to other people. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Right.
That's
towards people who are effectively marketing their services and touching the pain points of the market. This wasn't on the agenda, but I wanted to, and we didn't talk about this last week, Ruth, but I wanted to see if Charlie had if they've heard on the title side, any rumblings of what's happening in Chicago right now, in Illinois, with the whole lawsuit against all the big brokerage firms for like the antitrust rules. Have you heard of that?
I have not. I think I better start reading.
So yeah, I mean, we'll save that for another episode as the trial begins to unfold there. But I was thinking about it. It actually may be good for real estate, actually, because I thought about how the effect if the lawsuit favors the plaintiff, which is the home sellers at this point, it could change the way commissions are being paid out.
Max, what's interesting to me is John pointed out the other night, he was watching TV, and one of these iBuyer platforms was advertising, I forget which one, but they actually stated the amount of commission. Mm-hmm. Don't pay, I think they said don't pay up to 6%. Mm-hmm. I think that's a Federal Trade Commission violation, isn't it? I mean, we were always told that you can't advertise commissions, and now they're doing it on TV.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know the rules behind that, so that is interesting. But yeah, so if you just everybody out there Google state of Illinois versus Keller Williams, Remax, and all the big brokerages, you will start to see what's happening out there, and it's probably a landmark case that's happening right now that could change the way real estate is, from a buyer-seller real estate relationship that has lasted over, 30 years, 30, 40 years. And so it'll be interesting. But
things change, as we know, things are changing all the time.
Right.
I mean, 10 years ago, Uber wasn't here. 10 years ago, Facebook wasn't here. And look where we are today. And you have to realize that technology just goes faster and grows as far as what they offer. And, the big companies have a lot to be scared about.
Right. And if you're a really smart marketer, get to know what's happening, and then you can start building messages around it, and then you'll become the expert before the news breaks. And then guess what? Who's going to call you? Right? Everybody's going to call you to talk about that stuff, and more attention, more exposure means brand awareness, and brand awareness means people are going to call you first. So some interesting things happening right now in the real estate
industry. I would like to tell everybody what your phone number is if they want to order.
Oh, that would be great. It's 702-283-6725.
6725.
Correct. Yeah. And if you're not working with Ticor, we would love the opportunity to earn your business and show you all of our tools.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to put you on the spot here, a sales spot, right? And you're probably going to be prepared. But so what's the differentiator? I came from a mortgage background, and really, from my perspective, right, the title company that I used still in my mind right now is whoever came around the most, right? Mm-hmm. What's the biggest differentiator on top of just obviously building a really good relationship with the real estate agents, with loan officers out there? I mean, what is Ticor's differentiation over some of the other companies out there?
I would have to say two things. I think that we have 11 sales executives, and every one of them, we only have a couple that are a little bit newer, but the longevity of the sales executives being through all kinds of markets, when the market crashed, and they've been able to adapt, and their experience level is out there, and they can really help agents to, manage through any type of market. I think the other thing that sets us apart is the longevity of our company. In our industry, people jump around a lot.
Sure.
And our employees don't. We have, I think it's 25% of our employees have been with the company since it started 17 years ago.
Oh, wow.
55% have been here 5 years or longer. We have some pretty strong stats that we don't have people, that move around a lot. They want to be at our company. And I think that says a lot for the culture of our company. So.
Sure.
And to that point, everybody that I've met at Ticor Title is extremely personable, amiable, helpful. When you're talking to anybody in your company, Charlie, they're talking to you. They're not looking at their watch thinking, oh, I need to be somewhere else, not sitting here chatting with Ruth. And I noticed that the companies that are successful, that's you. That's all of Ticor Title that I've met so far, and delighted to meet everybody. It's just been an amazing experience for me, and you all have such presence in the market. I think that I don't know. I just really want you to come to my classes, and
Okay.
I want because I think you have so much to offer, and I'm just excited about that.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I'd love to come to your classes.
Well, we'll hook up and decide a date and time, and sketch out a few things of what we can accomplish with the agents. Because I do a whole segment on what they should be doing and getting from their title companies, and you're just bringing a total new dimension to that, and so that will be great for the people who are taking the classes.
Perfect.
All right. Fantastic. Anything else on the docket today, Ruth?
No, I think I'm a little worn out this week. But I'm trying to get back in the groove. John has 3 more radiation treatments, and so that's been a challenge because I think that's 38 radiation treatments altogether, and it does make you tired. And so I've had to kind of hold up another end of the of what we're doing, and we're getting ready to remodel our building, which is so exciting. But that's another job for me, right? Picking out the carpet and the paint and the flooring, and I just picked out all the new landscaping, which is going to go in the middle of April, and I'm going to change the color of the building. So there's just so much going on. And I'm anxious to get back into my groove, and so happy that Charlie was here today. And
absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for being on.
And what everybody needs to remember is 10,000 people a month are leaving California. And how many are moving here? Did you say 3,000?
Yeah, about 3,200.
3,200. You guys go where the puck is going. Go to Facebook and start attracting them. I mean, my ad for that relocation guide has been running now for since July of 2017, and every day I get leads every day, and I'd love to share them with people. And if anybody's interested, you can just give me a call or email me.
Yeah.
And
when's the next class?
The next class is the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and just next week,
That is next week.
Yeah, yes. And they can call Siri to sign up, or they can actually go to our website. There's a training menu item. So if you go to agentformula.com, just click on training and sign up, because we still have the room seats about 30 people, and I think we still have about 10 open seats. So, the more the merrier is what I always say when we teach it, because everybody learns from everybody else. Everybody has different questions, and so it makes it really cool when we've got, a full house. So sign up. I know probably everybody's doing their income taxes now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Well, that's
All right.
that's our show for today. And
That's our
Charlie,
show
I hope
for
you
today.
enjoyed it, and we certainly enjoyed having you, and we'll have you back again.
Okay, thank
Now
you.
that you kind of know the ropes,
Yeah.
this is your first time, so now that you kind of know the ropes, it's fun. And then what I do, I take this video and then I upload it to rev.com, which captions it. And so tomorrow, as soon as I get it back, as it takes about 24 hours, then I boost it out there to everybody, all the real estate agents. So, you'll be in front of all of them sometime tomorrow.
Right.
Great. That's awesome.
Max,
Yeah.
thank you so much. It's
Yeah,
been a
you're
great
welcome.
show.
Great
Yeah,
show. Thank you, Charlie.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah,
you.
say
Bye,
say,
B.
And
say
welcome
goodnight, B.
B to the show. All right, everybody. Have a great week.
Thank you.